Christian Horner was supposed to be untouchable. 20 years, 8 driver titles, 6 constructors. Then, suddenly, gone. But what if I told you this isn't the end of his story, but the beginning of a power shift that could rock Formula One to its core? Something's brewing behind the scenes of Formula One. And no, it's not another regulation change or tyre compound controversy. This time, it's personal. It's political. And it's powerful. Christian Horner, the man who once reigned supreme at Red Bull Racing, has been thrown out of the empire he helped build from scratch. But if you thought that was shocking, wait till you see what's next. Because behind the headlines, behind the leaks, behind the internal investigations, there's something far more explosive. Horner is coming back. And not just as a team principal, not as some advisor. We're talking ownership, leadership, total control. Alpine, Aston Martin, even the FIA presidency, all are in the conversation. And in this video, we're diving deep into the truth, the rumours, the evidence, and the master plan Horner might be orchestrating to take back the F1 paddock by storm. So buckle in, because what's happening behind the scenes right now could reshape the next era of Formula One forever. Let's be clear, no one saw this coming. Christian Horner, the man who took Red Bull Racing from a marketing experiment in 2005 to a championship powerhouse, was sacked. Not eased out, not retired, but removed. And it wasn't performance alone that did it. The official story? Misconduct allegations, an internal investigation, rumours swirling, WhatsApp leaks. But as the dust settled, the real picture became far more complex. Yes, Horner was declared legally innocent. A court cleared his name. But in the high-stakes world of Formula One, perception often outweighs facts. And at Red Bull's Austrian HQ, perception turned against him. Fast. The public heard whispers of coercive behaviour and commanding leadership gone too far. But internally, what really turned the tide wasn't the court case. It was the collapse of trust between Horner and the new Austrian majority at Red Bull, and once that trust was gone, there was no coming back. To understand how Horner's empire crumbled, you need to understand the structure behind Red Bull Racing. Red Bull isn't just an energy drink, it's a global giant split between two forces, Thai and Austrian investors. For years, Christian Horner thrived under this balance, especially with backing from Chileo Yavidya's Thai family. But everything changed when Chileo's eldest son sold off 2% of his shares, tipping the ownership balance to Austria, who now held a controlling 51%. With that majority in hand, the Austrians made their move. Step 1, remove Horner. Step 2, restructure Red Bull Racing from the inside out. And just like that, the man who once called every shot at Milton Keynes was out. The politics had spoken. The message was clear. Red Bull is moving on without him. But Horner, he had other plans. Enter Alpine. At first glance, it might seem like an odd pairing. Horner, the ruthless strategist, joining a team known more for chaos and inconsistency than silverware. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find a match made in paddock heaven. Alpine is in flux. Their driver situation is unstable. Their leadership is shaky. And their finances? Let's just say they wouldn't turn down a cash injection. Even more interesting, they're becoming a Mercedes-powered team in 2026. That means fresh opportunity, a clean slate, new tech, new possibilities and new leadership. Rumours are swirling that Alpine is open to selling a major stake of their team to outside investors. And guess who fits that bill? Christian Horner. Think about it. He gets control. He gets a clean brand. He gets to lead a new squad into the 2026 regulations with a Mercedes engine and a chip on his shoulder the size of Silverstone. Even better, Alpine already has a chairman ready to work with him, Flavio Briatore. And if that duo sounds dangerous, that's because it is. With all this chaos swirling, another rumour began gaining traction. Could Christian Horner become the next president of the FIA? Sounds absurd, right? The idea that the most competitive, team-driven figure in F1 would suddenly become a rule maker instead of a rule breaker. Well, that didn't stop Toto Wolff from joking about it. After all, when your fiercest paddock rival is suddenly out of a job and talking to everyone, you start watching your back. Wolff joked that maybe Horner should watch his tone now that he might end up replacing Ben Sulayem at the FIA. But here's the thing. This rumour doesn't hold much weight, not because Horner couldn't do it, but because it's simply not in his DNA. F1 pundit Bernie Collins explained it best. Christian is like Max Verstappen. He's a fighter, he thrives on competition, he wants to beat Toto, he wants to build something. That's not something you get to do in the FIA. Let's face it, the FIA is about regulation, neutrality and maintaining order. Christian Horner? He's about disruption, domination and getting results. By any means necessary. So if you are betting on where Horner's next chapter begins, don't place your chips on Place de la Concorde. Because the FIA doesn't need Horner, and more importantly, Horner doesn't want the FIA. While fans and insiders speculate, the F1 experts have already made up their minds. Let's start with Martin Brundle, who doesn't mince words when it comes to paddock politics. He believes Horner's downfall came from trying to control too much. Christian overplayed his hand. Once the Thai family support fell away and Austria took the wheel, they parked him at the first opportunity. But Brundle's not counting him out. Quite the opposite. I'd be pretty sure Christian will be back, and this time with ownership and control. Then there's Nico Rosberg, 2016 world champion, and now one of the sport's most analytical voices. Rosberg believes Alpine is the perfect fit. Alpine makes a lot of sense. Imagine Horner as CEO, Briatore as chairman. That's power. That's vision. That's momentum. Rosberg also points out the potential reunions that could come from such a move, namely Gasly and Horner, working together under a completely new structure. Lastly, Bernie Collins, who understands the psychology of team dynamics better than most, adds the final piece. Christian doesn't belong behind a desk in a rule-making body. He belongs in a garage, in the chaos, building a team and fighting for glory. The consensus is loud and clear. Horner isn't finished, he's just reloading. Now, let's bring all the threads together. Christian Horner isn't looking for a soft landing, he isn't looking to consult or take on an honorary role. He's not chasing nostalgia, he's planning a comeback. A strategic, aggressive, game-changing re-entry into Formula One, on his own terms. And if insider reports are correct, that means ownership. Alpine is the most likely target. They need leadership, they need results, and they need money. All three boxes. Horner checks them with a bold red Sharpie. What about Aston Martin? Well, here's the twist. Aston Martin is in a stable spot right now with Lawrence Stroll at the helm. But if Lawrence were to step away or cash out in the next few years, Christian Horner could be a dark horse successor, especially if he's looking to take over an already structured team without building from scratch. But Alpine offers something Horner craves more than anything else, a clean slate with chaotic potential. It's a team that's been underperforming, that's had constant leadership shake-ups, that's lacked consistency. It's a blank page with resources and a hunger to rise. With new regulations coming in 2026 and Alpine becoming a Mercedes-powered team, Horner would get the rare opportunity to mould a new powerhouse from scratch, just like he did with Red Bull 20 years ago. That's legacy-level stuff. So where does that leave us? Christian Horner's story is far from over. If anything, the drama at Red Bull was just the season finale of Volume 1, because the man who built an empire isn't going to disappear. He's going to reinvent. Ownership. Alpine. Aston Martin. A seat at the table that's bigger than the one he lost. He's no longer trying to just win races. He's trying to own the battlefield. And Formula One, for all its speed, politics and power plays, might not be ready for the next chapter, but you are. Let me ask you this. Do you think Horner will return as a team owner? Could he make Alpine a winning squad? Or will he shock everyone and buy into Aston Martin or start a whole new team from scratch? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to stay ahead of every twist in this story, from Horner to Gasly to 2026's wild new regulations, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. This is the new era of Formula One, and Christian Horner might just be writing its first chapter.